Although we build a lot of muscle cars here in the V8 Speed and Resto shop, every once in a while we get a different kind of a project, like a classic car or building a cool truck. And in this case, we had a customer call up saying he had an idea to modify a 1969 Ford F-100 Ranger pickup truck. And I've always liked those kind of trucks, and right now GM, Ford, and Dodge pickup trucks from the late 60s and early 70s are really gaining in popularity. So we decided to hear what his idea was, and like many people, he liked the looks of a stock 1969 Ford F-100 pickup truck, but he wanted modern day reliability, drivability. He wanted it to handle and perform like a modern truck. So we went back and forth a little bit with a plan to maybe transplant a late model engine or put fuel injection on his old truck, maybe do disc brakes, maybe do a suspension upgrade. And what we started to realize is that using a lot of new parts to upgrade his old truck, there might have been a better way to do this by taking the underpinnings from a more modern truck and putting the two together. So it was actually his idea to find a slightly damaged 2002 Ford Lightning pickup truck and put the two together. So in all honesty, we weren't sure if you could simply blend these two trucks together. I was convinced that a Lightning chassis was going to be very different from the 69 F-100 chassis. And the customer ended up finding a Lightning truck at an auction, and he had this 69 F-100. So he took some measurements and he would call me and say, you know, I think we can do this. I don't think they're that different. So we decided to pull the trigger on it and just see what we could find out. So he ended up shipping us both trucks, and the Lightning was a red 02 truck. It got hit in the front and it had some damage, and it was a total, and he bought it at an insurance auction. And we think it was totaled because it had broken the front cooler and the radiator and some of that stuff, but the chassis seemed to be okay and the engine seemed to be fine. And it had about 66,000 miles on it. And the reason why the Lightning was an attractive choice is because these came from the factory with a 380 horsepower supercharged 5.4 liter Ford V8 engine, and they make, I don't know, 450 foot-pounds of torque. And it's really kind of a sports car wrapped up in a pickup truck. It's got 20-inch wheels, it's got an aggressive suspension with Bilstein shocks and performance springs, big sway bars, giant brakes. They handled really, really well for being a pickup truck, and they made a lot of power. So this was a great starting point for what he wanted. And when both trucks arrived, we noticed that his 69 truck was also in very, very good shape. It was about a 56,000 mile truck, and it didn't really require any external modifications. It had decent paint, had all the trim, a few dents here and there, but he didn't want to get into anything on the outside. We were focused with putting the Lightning driveline and chassis under the 69 truck. So with a lot of these projects, you got to come up with kind of a fun name for the car or truck. And in this case, we're combining this Lightning with this 69 that's black truck, so the owner actually named it Thunderstruck.